welcome to BioStock. Today I'm joined in the studio by the CEO of Saniona, Thomas Feldthus. The company is undergoing a rights issue, and Thomas is here to give a short presentation. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you, Michael, for taking me in here. So, Saniona is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company. We are focused on epilepsy, where we are advancing programs which will have a significant impact on patients' life. I'm in this presentation making reservation for forward-looking statements. So Saniona has a robust pipeline which we are developing in collaboration with partners. Medix, a partner Medix, is currently under regulatory approval with one of our programs, which could be on the market next year and provide royalties to us. We have a strong ion channel drug discovery platform, which is pertinent for CNS and epilepsy. And it has been validated by partnerships, and we generated more than 400 million crowns in income over the last decade. In the short term, I expect research funding, potential milestones payment, and now also potential royalties on product sales. In parallel, we are working on establishing new partnerships with promising discussions underway. We are also addressing and advancing our epilepsy strategy, where we have identified new candidates which will meet some of the critical medical needs in this area. And this could be used for internal development or in collaboration with partnerships. So this slide shows a decade of collaborations and spinouts in Saniona. And we have made collaborations with top-tier companies like Boehringer Ingelheim, Pfizer and Janssen, and engaged with mid-sized companies such as Medix and with innovative companies such as Astronautics and Proximagen. In total, we also made a number of spin-outs, including Scandion Oncology and Initiator Pharma, both listed at Nasdaq First North, and while Cadence Therapeutics was acquired by Novartis. And all these agreements have generated 400 million crowns in income, and there is further potential upsides in terms of milestones, royalties, and earnouts from these agreements. This slide shows our pipeline as it looks today. The dark blue programs are programs we are developing in partnerships. The light blue are programs which we are developing and are positioned for partnering. And then the golden eggs are the epilepsy programs, which for potential in-house development. Apart from Tesofensine on the top, our other ongoing collaborations are based on our research platform within areas such as Alzheimer's diseases, schizophrenia, and migraine. So our most advanced products are Tesofensine and Tesomet. Tesofensine is under regulatory approval with our partner Medix, and where obesity is for obesity, which is a significant health problem in Mexico. And there's increased competition, but our product stands out for its efficacy and its ease of use. It's a tablet. It's not an injection like the many GLP-1 analogs, and there is no need for titration. So Medix is awaiting green light from the regulatory agencies, and they could potentially launch the product this year, which would generate royalties to Saniona of mid-teens royalties, which means $7.5 million if they have a sale of $50 million annually. Moving on to Tesomet, this has been paused in a phase 2b study due to the financial situation in the company. And we are right now evaluating our option as the markets evolves and also exploring the possibility for partnerships. Our strategy is clear. We are focused on our epilepsy programs against proven targets. I think this is a realistic approach given the current market conditions, and it offers a very favorable risk profile as well as significant upside for the company. So we have a strong position for making an impact in epilepsy. We have already a pipeline of products which is aligned with the medical need in this field. We are developing selective ion channel modulators to maximize the efficacy and reduce the side effects. And sometimes we can make precision medicines where our drugs will address the root cause of the disease. Epilepsy is an interesting field. You have predictive animal models which can tell whether a product candidate, an early product candidate, will be effective in various forms of epilepsy. And you are not in the clinical studies, you will have concrete endpoints. Do the patient have seizure or not? And so you're not relying on questionnaires and assessment by patients how they think about the product. And finally, we have biomarkers, and all this reduce the risk and increase the success rate. We also have an experienced team within brain development, products for development of diseases of the brain. Just a year ago, we welcomed Pierre-André Mukla, who has significant experience for development of products for epilepsy from GSK and UCB and also Green Therapeutics. So we are well prepared to make an impact here. Epilepsy market is large. There's 50 million patients worldwide. 6 million lives in the United States and Europe. And it's growing. Will be about $8 billion in 2028. And the market is driven by new products addressing the remaining significant unmet medical need, which can be divided into two groups. The 30% of patients are resistant to existing therapy in general. And then we have some very severe pediatric syndromes where it's very hard to treat patients. So these are the major two areas. And on this slide, I've shown two products within each area where the expected sales peak sales is about $1 billion or more. This slide shows, so there's been a lot of M&A activity going on in epilepsy recently. And this slide shows 5 recent deals. On the top, you have AbbVie, who announced in December that they plan to acquire Cerevel. Cerevel does have other products, but their phase 2 GABA 235 PAM for epilepsy is one of the profile and major value driver of this company. The other companies here, target companies, they have been focused on epilepsy solely, and they only have one product each. And you can see the value of the deals is acquisition deals. It starts at $1 billion up to $8.7 billion. So the take-home message on this slide, I believe, is that epilepsy is valuable, and there's opportunity to create an exit opportunity for investors in this field, and also that the major players in epilepsy, they are interested in companies with both within pediatric indications and those who have products for resistant epilepsies. And for Saniona, I think also the deal between Angelini and Arvel is interesting because it demonstrates that it's possible to retain significant value if you are able to retain the European commercial rights when you're making a deal with a US biotech company who then are taking the product forward. Because they were able to sell their company, Arvel was able to sell their company for about $1 billion just for the commercial right on one product. So here you have our pipeline. SAN711 is ready for phase 2. In absent seizures, and 2219 is positioned for on-demand repetitive seizures. These are GABA modulators, and these indications are orphan drug indication, which enable premium pricing. Then we have SAN2355, which is a new generation of Kv7 activators. We have positioned it for refractory focal onset seizure because we think that it will be very competitive in this large market. And then finally, we have the GABA research program where we have a candidate on the shelf, which we are considering to using for treatment of a very rare and severe pediatric indication. So GABA and Kv7, this is our targets. They are very important in epilepsy. Market it is estimated that they will have a much higher growth rate than the general epilepsy market, about 14% on an annual basis, and marketing will increase from about 17% to more than 1/3 of the market in 2028. It's also valuable. In Kv7 field, we have 2 competitive programs ahead of us. Saniona in phase 3 with a program, and Biohaven has a program in phase 1. And BioPharma is an analyst house. They have collected financial analysis from financial analysts in the market, and they claim that the market, the value of the Saniona phase 3 program is estimated to be $2 billion by financial analysts, and that Biohaven's phase 1 program has a market value of $800 million, which is quite a lot for phase 1 program. This slide shows a peer group of companies within epilepsy. We have already talked about Cerevel, Biohaven, and Saniona. Further down the line, you have Sage Therapeutics and Marinus. Both companies are developing GABA modulators, old types, non-selective steroid in this field. But the point for this slide is that, as you can see from the top, GABA, Kv7, GABA, and GABA. So these are important targets, of course. Saniona has tremendous experience with these 2 targets. And we are specialists in this. We have worked with it for 20 years. Our products are much more selective and have the possibility for higher efficacy and fewer side effects than any of these competing programs. And so we see a significant potential for Saniona making an impact here. We are right now conducting a rights issue of 140 million crowns at a pre-money at 132 million crowns. And we are doing this in order to create value by progressing selected pipeline programs forward in support of our business development activities, and then bring SAN711 to proof of concept. 1/3 of the financing will be used for SAN711, another 1/3 for other products, and then we will pay back some debt, and then we have operational costs. The units is comprising 2 shares and 1 warrant, and it comes at a cost of 4.12 crowns. So if you ignore the warrant, then it's 2.06 per share. And the subscription period ends on the 5th of February, and you can buy trading units in the stock market until January 31. So look a little bit about what happened in 2023. We got a favorable opinion from the committee advising the regulatory agency in Mexico about approval of tesofensine for obesity. And this gives us hope for launching the product this year. And then we have AstronauTx, new deal with AstronauTx for Alzheimer's diseases. We will get $177 million in milestones, of which $100 million is development milestones. And it's an option deal, and they pay for all research, fully loaded, and we will get significant money when they exercise the option. And then we selected 2 candidates this year. 2355, a Kv7 activator, new generation of Kv7 activators, and this is positioned for epilepsy. And then SAN2465, which is positioned for major depressive disorders and now available for partnering. For 2024, then I hope for an approval and launch of tesofensine in obesity in Mexico. We can then move on to other markets. Then I also expect that we will make at least one collaboration. I'm looking forward to that, the next one. And finally, I am looking forward to explain about the progression of our pipeline in the market, in particular SAN711 and SAN2355, which we have great hope for. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Thomas. Why are you focused on epilepsy specifically in your program?
It's because there's a huge medical need in this field, and we can make a lot of value here. So 30% of the patients are considered resistant to the existing therapies. And when you have 6 million patients in Europe and US, it's 2 million patients. And when it comes to childhood epilepsies, then the situation is even worse. And we have deep knowledge of 2 types of ion channel modulators, GABA ion channels and Kv7 ion activators. And those are considered as the targets right now, which form the basis for developing new, novel, effective, and well-tolerated drugs to address these issues.
Well, I'd like to talk more about these new targets, but first, could you tell us a little bit about SAN711? Why is this an important program for you?
We consider this as a precision approach for treatment of absence seizures, and absence seizures is indication where has tremendous impact on the patient's life, because they can have 2 attacks a day, and this will obviously affect their school life, their work life, and their social life. SAN711, now existing drugs are actually working quite a lot of those patients, but they come with cognitive impairment, which is appropriate given that they already have problems with attention. And SAN711 is modeling just one GABA ion channel, which is found in the part of the brain which starts these seizures and where they are maintained. And we have shown in an animal models, genetic animal models, that it works in absence seizures. And we have been through a phase 1 clinical study where we have seen a very safe and benign safety profile on these healthy volunteers. So we have great hope for this product and see it as a precision approach for treatment of absence seizures. We will start with childhood absence seizures, resistant childhood absence seizures, and then we will move after that into first-line therapy because we don't have any cognitive impairment. And then we can move into other indications such as juvenile absence seizures and myoclonic absence seizures. And all those 3 are orphan drug, which allow for premium pricing.
And in your presentation, you talk about Kv7 ion channels as a new generation of targets. Could you tell us a bit more about this?
Yeah, so we see this as a new generation because it's very selective towards Kv7.2 and Kv7.3 receptors. And the Kv7 family consists of 5. Kv7.1 controls the heart, and that's a no-go. But there are 4 others, 2 and 3, and then number 4 and number 5. And all existing products in the market and the competing programs, they are unselective towards 4 and 5. And 4 cause urinary retention and life-threatening urinary retention, and patients are leaving the trials for this reason. And 5 is also expressed in the brain, but has a complete different function, and it's actually counterproductive. So that patients, when they go up in high doses with the competing programs, then seizures come back. And we can avoid that. And we can see in animal models that our product, which is only 2 and 3, has a complete different profile also from a tox perspective in animal models. So we have a window, therapeutic window we call it, but of more than 30, 40 times, which means from you start to see the effect, positive effect, to you start to see some significant side effects. And competing programs has maybe a window of only about 2 to 3. And obviously we'll see that in the clinics.
Okay.
So we have great hope for this compound.
It sounds very promising. Well, thank you so much, Thomas, for your presentation and for answering these questions.
Thank you.